Okay, family, welcome back to Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry, the show where we pour something smooth, speak something real, and stir up the type of chemistry that feels like therapy, but at the lounge. I'm your host, ChaFai, and tonight we are going deeper than the glass. So wherever you are, if you are in your car, at home, or just in that quiet moment after a long day, if you have wine anywhere in your vicinity, go ahead and grab it, because tonight's conversation needs wine. It doesn't matter if it's sweet or dry, just as long as it's not rushed. Something rich and layered, that's what you need. The kind of pour that doesn't announce itself loudly, but stays with you. And I've got wine in front of me too. You also know I have that cigar, so I have warm notes, a little cocoa, a little spice, and a little earthiness underneath it all. The kind of cigar that lingers in the room even after you've put it down. Because tonight we are easing into something familiar. The way conversations drift, not in arguments, but in translation. In how we speak, how we listen, and how we try to connect. When we understand the language, the tension fades, and the chemistry can find its rhythm. Tonight, we are talking pointers and painters. And if that sounds familiar to you, well, it's because you may not know it, but you have been here before. And when you understand it, and handle it with maturity, it can create some of the best chemistry of your life. But before we get into it, let's do a quick energy check, because the way you enter a conversation typically determines how the conversation ends. So take a breath. Close your eyes for a second and picture yourself walking into a hard conversation. What energy are you bringing? Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Are you already rehearsing what you're going to say? Are you expecting to be misunderstood or corrected or dismissed? Now I'm going to walk into the conversation calm, present, probably going to have a glass in one hand and a cigar in the other, because I'm not rushing, I'm not over-explaining, I'm not preparing for a fight. My energy is set to grow. I am here to make the space safe, to make the conversation clear, and to make sure that you leave with something you can actually use. So check your posture, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and let the good energy land. Because tonight isn't about being right. It's about showing up completely. Whether you are a pointer or a painter or somewhere beautifully in between, all you need is to be understood. Now let's bring in the senses. In your hand is a glass. It's not oversized, it's not flashy, just enough weight to feel steady and intentional. If you have a cigar, it's in your hand and it's burning slow, filling the room with warmth and presence. Take a sip and let that wine roll across your tongue. Notice the depth, the layers, the way it lingers. Now take a draw from your cigar, but don't rush it. Hold it. Let the smoke settle before you release it. That's the energy we want tonight. Patience, presence, and curiosity. And maybe a little indulgence, because grown chemistry is never rushed. So sip, puff, and pause. And just like that, we are prepared to hear, to understand, and to connect. Because chemistry isn't magic, it's presence. So let's break down this language, and let's start at the top. Men, not always, but often, communicate as pointers. They aim straight for the target. They say things like, "I'm hungry. We need to fix this," or "I'll be home late." See, there's no framing, no history, no backstory, and no emotional preface. They point and they fire. Not because they don't care, but because they are wired for efficiency. It's solution mode, protection mode, contain the problem energy. And then you have women who are, again, not always, but often, they communicate as painters. We don't just give you the destination, we give you the journey. We paint the scene. Who was there? What was said? What the energy felt like? A painter conversation has light, shadow, texture, and probably a bomb-ass soundtrack. Not because we're doing too much, but because context is intimacy. Women create connection before moving to the solution. And this is typically where the friction lives. Because the pointer is thinking, "Why is this taking so long?" And the painter is thinking, "You just don't care how I feel," when neither is true. He is trying to solve your emotion, and she is trying to be understood before she lets you solve it. There's two different goals, but the same desire for peace. So let's really understand the pointer, because pointer energy can feel cold, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable. But that's not what's happening. Pointers are wired for efficiency under pressure. Many of them learned early that emotions slow things down, and explanations invite conflict, and clarity equals safety. So when something feels off, their nervous system says, identify the problem, fix it, and stabilize. Fixing is how they show care. Providing clarity is how they show safety. See, pointers experience love as responsibility. So when a painter adds layers, emotion, and context, the pointer doesn't hear connection, they hear escalation. Not because the painter is wrong, but because expansion feels risky to a system that's trained to contain. See, the pointer system is trained to contain. That's why pointers often interrupt, or they jump to the end, or they offer solutions quickly. They're not trying to silence you, they're trying to regulate the moment. And when a painter may say, "You don't listen," what pointers often feel is, no matter what I do, I'm failing. And that's when they shut down. So if you love a pointer, here's the key. Give them their role before emotion. Say it early. Say things like, "I don't need a solution yet. I just need you to listen," or "I'm venting. I'm not asking you to fix this." That one sentence alone tells their nervous system, you are safe, you are not failing, I just want you to stay with me. And relaxed pointers soften, and softened pointers listen. Now let's sip, puff, and take a pause before we transition to painters. So let's talk about the painter. All right, painters are not dramatic. Think of them as integrative. Painters don't just give you the destination, baby. They give you the journey. They paint the scene, why they feel a certain way, who was involved, what energy was in the room, how the story unfolded, and how long they've been wanting to get this off of their chest. A painter conversation is intimacy. They look at context as intimacy. They experience life in layers, not bullet points. For them, context creates safety, and storytelling creates regulation, and expression creates relief. A painter doesn't speak to solve first. They speak to feel seen. So when a painter explains, what they're really saying is, come into my world with me, my internal world. And to them, that's intimacy. So when a pointer tries to jump to the end, the painter doesn't feel helped. They feel cut off, rushed, like their inner world is inconvenient. Painters don't want you to carry the emotion. They just don't want to carry it alone. And if you love a painter, try this. Reflect before you resolve. Say things like, that makes sense, or I hear why that bothered you, or I can see how that felt heavy. Give presence first. Once a painter feels seen, something shifts. They calm down, they shorten the story, they become open to solutions because they don't feel like they need to continue to explain to make you understand because you've already responded that you do. Now, painters don't resist solutions. They resist solutions before safety. So don't try to offer them solutions before you offer them safety. Now, how do we meet in the middle? See, here's the collision point. The pointer thinks you're taking too long to get to the point, and the painter thinks you just don't care how I feel, and neither is accurate. And let me say this before anyone gets in their feelings. Not all men are pointers, and not all women are painters. But one thing is for sure, you know which one you typically lean to, and you know which one the person that you are trying to love leans to as well. You have felt it in the conversations, you've heard it in the arguments, and you've noticed it in the pauses, the short answers, and the long explanations. So instead of trying to change them or trying to turn them into you, let's talk about how to support the pointer or the painter in your life, how to love them in a way that doesn't exhaust you, how to hear them without feeling dismissed, and how to show up without losing yourself, because chemistry doesn't come from sounding or being the same. It comes from understanding the language being spoken. And once you get that part right, the whole entire conversation changes. Now, this is where we make it practical. If you're somewhere safe, just stay with me for the next few minutes. This isn't about fixing a relationship. It's about learning how to meet each other without losing yourselves. Now listen, think about the person you are trying to love right now. Your partner, your ex, someone you keep misunderstanding, and ask yourself honestly, do I point or do I paint? Do I move toward clarity and solutions, or do I move towards context and expression? Don't judge it, just notice it, because neither is wrong. Awareness is the entry point. The next thing, name their language. Think about how they communicate. When things get tense, do they get quieter and more direct, or do they explain more and add more detail? Again, don't judge them. Just recognize it. This isn't about who's right. We're just different. Now, step 3, let's translate the intention. Here's the part that changes everything. If you are a pointer, quietly say to yourself, when they explain more, they are asking for safety, not conflict. And if you are a painter, quietly say, when they simplify, they're trying to stabilize, not dismiss. Now let that land and take a sip. Just notice how your body responds when intention replaces assumption. Step 4, practice the middle sentence. This is a sentence that builds the bridge. Say it out loud or in your head. If you're painting, just say, I'm painting right now. Please don't rush me. If you're pointing, say, I'm in solution mode. Do you want help or presence? Let yourself imagine saying it calmly, not mid-argument, not defensive, just clear, because clarity calms both sides. And step 5, mirror before you move. Now, imagine this. Before responding, before explaining, before fixing, you say, what I hear you saying is, and you stop there. No correction, no defense, just presence. That pause, that's the middle. 6, end with alignment. Imagine closing the conversation with this. Not agreement, just alignment. I understand you better now. Say it slowly. I understand you better now. Feel the difference between that and trying to win. That's what meeting in the middle feels like. Not fireworks, not intensity, safety. Remember this, meeting in the middle doesn't mean you stop being yourself. It means you stop making the other person wrong for how they feel safe. Stop making people feel wrong for how they feel safe. That's where chemistry can begin. Chemistry isn't intensity, it's regulation. It feels safe enough to speak your language without being punished for it. Pointers don't need to become storytellers for you, and painters don't need to become problem solvers for you. They just need permission to show up as they are without being misunderstood. That's where attraction deepens. That's where arguments soften. That's where love stops feeling like work. And if you remember nothing else from this episode, please remember this. Most relationship conflict isn't about disagreement. It's about misunderstood regulation. When you name the style, you stop assigning intention. When you stop assigning intention, you stop taking it personally. And when you stop taking it personally, connection becomes possible. It doesn't just change the conversation, it changes the relationship. So as we come to the end of this conversation, raise your glass and toast with me to clarity without coldness, to expression without being overwhelmed, to learning each other's language instead of demanding fluency, to pointers, to painters, and to chemistry that stays. Until next time, I want you to remember that not one is better. Both are incomplete alone. Men bring direction, women bring experience. Together, you bring chemistry. If something stayed with you tonight, don't rush past it. Ask yourself which language you speak and which one the person you are trying to love is using. And let that soften how you listen and slow how you respond. Because when you hear what's really being said, Chemistry doesn't just survive, it deepens. This has been Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry. Keep your glass full, your mind open, and your chemistry bilingual. The next round's on me. Don't be late.